Welcome back to Behind the Filter podcast. And today we are back here at Prana IV Hydration and Wellness Clinic. But this time I actually have Payal Rana with me. We're going to get a little bit more of a deeper dive into who you are behind your business.
Yes.
Thanks for having me back again. I don't have my other half with me. I don't have Ashley.
I miss her.
I know.
Her energy is so intoxicating.
It's amazing, isn't it? I love it. I know. That's why she's my best friend. So the reason why I wanted to do this is because Ashley shared with me that you just have a really, really great background of your story and how you grew up. And once I heard, I didn't hear all of it, but I just heard bits and pieces of it. And I thought, wow, this is a great opportunity. I would love for our audience to learn more about you and how this also came about and how this started. But I always like to hear where people came from. So are you, let's start from the very beginning.
Okay.
So are you originally from Indiana?
No.
Okay.
Not from Indiana. So originally a daughter of immigrants. I was actually born in India. Yeah. And my parents immigrated to New York City and left me in India with my grandma. Because they have to get here first, get settled, get a job.
What part of it specifically in New York City?
Yeah, New York City. My dad's an engineer, so that's where he felt like, hey, he was getting the most opportunities.
My family moved to Brooklyn and Queens from Puerto Rico.
Queens,
yeah,
Jackson Heights. That's right. That's the melting pot of America where really opportunities exist. So I stayed with my grandma for a few years until I was 3 or 4, and then once they got settled, they were able to call me over, and here I came to America, ready to go to pre-K and kindergarten.
Wow. How long did you guys stay in New York City?
Our whole life. I went to college in New York.
Oh, so you say that I left when I was 9.
Oh, I grew up in New York. The MTA, the Manhattan, the Queens, the Bronx, Brooklyn. Yeah, that's my whole childhood.
Okay.
All the way until I was 27 is when I moved out of New York.
Okay. Yeah. That's awesome. My mom remarried. And so when she remarried, she's no longer married to that person, but he was in the military and it moved us to San Diego. So I mainly grew up, I would say my main grow up is in Chula Vista, which is right by the southern, by TJ and Mexico. Yeah. So that's where I mainly grew up. So when I left New York at 9, but all of my extended family is still there. So
they're still visit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Our parents, both of our parents are still my husband's and mine.
Oh,
so it's great to go back to New York and have our parents there and have our extended family there too. All of our cousins are there, and it just feels like home still when we get there. That's for sure.
Gotcha. Yeah. And then so you were there until you said you were 27.
Yeah.
And then what made you move to the Midwest? Because I get that all the time.
Why would you leave New York, right?
Literally, I get that all the time because I went from Brooklyn, New York to San Diego, Chula Vista to Vegas to Virginia Beach to Greenwood, Indiana.
Greenwood,
and so everyone's always like, what? Why? And
so who even knows Greenwood, right?
Exactly.
Who even knows Fortville? But hey, now it's on the map.
Yes,
because we're here.
Yes.
So the story goes, so I grew up in New York City my whole life, went to SUNY Binghamton, upstate New York, and that's where I met my husband in college, who happened to go to medical school. And in medical school for residency, they do this thing called a matching. It's like an algorithm. So you apply to a bunch of residency programs and you interview at them, and after that this algorithm matches you up. So all of his interviews were on the East Coast, like New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Long Island. He had one interview in Terre Haute, Indiana, and we accepted the interview because my auntie lives in Brownsburg, so we're like, at least we have some family there. You know, we could do that. Why not? You never say no to an interview when you're doing residency.
No.
Every interview is good. And with the algorithm, we ended up in Terre Haute, Indiana. So off we left our home, our family.
Wait. Yeah. When you arrived to Terre Haute, what did you think?
Okay. So here's a funny thing. So my auntie lived in Indy, right? So every summer vacation, I was coming to the Midwest. And when we used to come here for summer vacations, my younger sister, who lives in Zionsville now, she'd say, "Oh, we're going to the country," because there was just farmland here. So I know this area. But for Dr. Rana, he was a Bronx, born in the Bronx, city boy.
So
he definitely had a little hard time adjusting. But then when you're in residency, you're working 24 hours. Who has time to look at the farm fields?
Yeah, honestly.
That's true. He was just working, you know? And then after 3 years in Terre Haute residency, we're like, oh, we'll move back to the East Coast because our family's there. And then once I had all the interviews, everything in Connecticut, New Jersey, New York, and then we got this offer from Carle Hospital in Champaign, Illinois, which became my favorite place to work, by the way. And the offer was so good. And we got to work in an underserved area in Danville, Illinois. And if you do that, you get help with your student loans. So off we went to put our time into underserved areas, and we were there for more than what we needed. We were there for 7 years because we liked it.
Wow.
Yeah, we made a great a group of friends that we had who became like family to us. But then the pandemic, you know, with our parents there, our siblings there, we're like, we gotta be a little bit closer in case something happens.
Yes.
So we did make a move back. We moved to Connecticut to be still in a suburban area, which just wasn't the same. We were out of the East Coast for about 10 years.
Okay.
And here's what we had discovered in the earlier on. So when we moved to Terre Haute, my son, he was only 4 or 5 months old. So he had just had him, and we moved here.
Wow.
And I remember going to Walmart in Terre Haute, and this little lady comes up to me like, oh, your baby's so cute. Oh, can I help you? And I'm like, get away. Like, I am a New Yorker. You don't trust nobody. I mean, she's trying to kidnap my baby.
You don't talk to anybody.
Don't
tell them to stay away.
Because that's how, you know, when you grow up in a big city, you learn to take care of yourself, to defend yourself, to have your surroundings wide open. So you just don't know. And then we realized, oh, people are genuinely nice here. They actually want to help you. So it took us a little time to get the guard down and to understand the hospitality of the Midwest.
Yes.
And then you can't go back. It's not the same.
Oh, so you got used to that, and then you went back, and then you're like, people are so rude here.
So a lot of times we drive from here to New York because it's just easier, especially when you have little children. You gotta like take the whole house with you.
Right.
As soon as you cross the GW Bridge. So now they have tele people, but back then it was a real human being. As soon as we open the window to do our thing, they're just not happy. They're stressed out. They're anxious, and it's just that city vibe. You know, the work, the commute. It's not easy.
Yeah.
We love the city. We love to eat there. We love to enjoy there. But to live there, we found the life is a lot more stressful there. Mm-hmm. You know, lots of anxiety. Majority of people are very anxious there. So then we started looking at, you know, what's going on with society? What's going on with people? And what can we do to reduce this? Like, our society cannot continue like this. That's for sure. We couldn't.
Right.
So first thing first, like, we got to get ourselves out of the situation. And Indy was perfect because there's an airport here. Straight flight to LGA, 2 hours, easy for our family. So we're like, this is easy for us too. Like, this was the spot. Yeah. And then we're like, you know what? We'll stay a little bit away from the city. So, you know, we don't want to be in Fishers or Carmel, which we felt that same type of commute, a lot of cars, a lot of people. We want to be a little Fortville. Yeah. Oh my God, I think the city's following us. if you look outside today, you see like cars going, like people going, but I love that it's moms and dads and kids in little strollers and little doggies going, and it's such a sweet little town. Like, we fell in love with here.
Oh, that's awesome. I lived in Fishers myself just for only 2 years or so, so I would come to Fortville every once in a while, and that was just a few years ago, and then I'm now on the south side of Indianapolis. But from that moment when I was here for 2 years and then moving back down, like, I've already seen a lot of the growth, and that was in a really short amount of time.
It is. And you know, when we were trying to figure out where to put Prana at, we had many different options. We could have gone to HTC, of course, booming, you know, lots of foot traffic, Fishers District, there's a lot of new strip malls, but just the vibe that we were trying to create just didn't feel right in any of those places. When we saw this place and we saw the neighbors, it just felt like home. Like, right away, they're like, oh, what can we do to help you? You know, as soon as we moved in here, flowers were coming in, support was coming in. Do you need help with permits? And talking to the town hall was so easy. Like, Adam is our main touch there, and we just knock on his door, you know. Jerry was the inspection and, you know, inspector over here. And they were just so friendly and inviting, and they helped us out through this process. I felt like, I don't think we would have gotten that in a strip mall.
Oh, yeah, no, not at all.
To make this place happen. Yeah. And even right now, the Fortville Business Association is so strong. And we all look out for each other. If there's something going on with the girls next door at the Diva Boutique, we're there for them. If there's something, like one time we left our little notice board. I don't know, what do you call that thing? The tent thing that we have.
Oh yeah, I don't know what you call it.
But we forgot it outside. And Jody's texting me, hey, you forgot your little sign outside. Like, what do you guys want to do? They would have taken it for us. You know, like the camaraderie is so nice.
You guys look out for each other.
We do.
So you have a really, really good community here.
And you feel that when you come to Main Street, Fortville. Yeah. You feel that. the familyness, the boutique type of feeling, and not just like another franchise over here. We're not that here.
It's so funny that you mentioned that, just because, with me being in news, like I'm in the city, and I see how unfortunately some of the crime is in the city, and a lot of the stories that come out of the city, and how people are venturing a little bit further out more into the suburbs because they feel like they want that community aspect, they want that touch point. And it is a little bit harder when you're in the city, when there's more people, more things happening, that you don't get those necessarily, those resources that you're wanting, or that close community feel. So
we love it. There's a lot more to come. I think there's a lot of fire in our business association group, and there's a lot of good heads involved in there that want to bring nice things to this area. We want to redo the park there and make it better for our children. We want to add more family-friendly places and activities in this area. So you should be able to bring your parents, bring your girlfriend for a date night, bring your wife, bring your partner, bring your kids, bring your dog, everybody. And that's the kind of environment we want to create here.
That's awesome.
And we're so proud and so happy that we get to play a role in this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I don't know if you know, but so they call this the Prana building now.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, because
I love it.
So when we moved in here, the side wall was people used to do photo shoots there. And the problem was that it's such an old building. So this building was actually made in 1908. Okay, true story, okay? We moved in here March 1st. A week later, the sweetest little lady comes across from the post office with a camera, like a legit camera, not like an iPhone.
Wait, stop.
Yeah.
Like a real camera.
Yeah, I haven't seen one in a while, too. So then she's like, oh, sweetheart, can I take some photos of this place? And we were the first week open. We had a lot of people coming just to check out what we did. I'm like, absolutely. And then she looks we have this very antique safe. You see that over there?
Yeah.
That we kept, because I love history.
Yes.
So that safe used to be right behind you where the coffee machine is.
Okay.
And it took our contractors 8 guys and a hydraulics machine to move that safe from there to that perfect spot I wanted it. And I converted that into a table because I don't want to lose it. I don't want to just throw it away. It's part of history.
That's awesome.
And so that lady's like, oh, you kept the safe. How'd you move it? I was like, oh, how do you know about this that I moved it? She's like, I grew up in this building. She said, my grandfather owned this building from 1908 to 1998, 100 years.
Oh my gosh.
And this used to be the Williams department store.
Okay.
So right behind me, this side was the men's department, she said. That side was the women's. And you see we have the second floor there?
Yes.
There used to be a stairs going up. That was the children's department. Yeah. And if you come in here, if I take you to the second floor on the big bricks, you could say it's like 2 for $5 shirts. Or something like that, something ridiculously cheap. We're like, well, that does not exist anymore.
No kidding.
And she was just so happy to see the safe. She took photos for some of her siblings that were still alive, and that just made her day, and that made my day. I was like, I'm so happy I kept the safe, because she was like, oh my gosh. She was like, back then there was no credit cards.
Yeah.
This was the checkout here where we're sitting, and all the money was kept in the safe. Isn't that so cool?
I love that. I love that there's so much history here, and then you're keeping a part of
keeping it.
Yeah.
So on this wall, the bricks were falling apart. So we got in-tucking done. We fixed all those bricks. And now the town is, we're going to paint the whole building.
Okay.
And then town is getting together to make a mural there. It's going to start in April 2026.
Okay.
We have volunteer artists flying from Europe and all over the place to help with that mural. I don't know if you know, it's going to be a big event. I think the reporters are going to be here.
Oh, I will definitely have to cover it then. That would be fantastic.
And we're going to have people come just to watch them paint.
Yeah, that's great.
It's going to be such an event.
So I assume that might be kind of like a creative thing when they're putting it together. So there's not really kind of a plan of what the mural is going to look like quite yet, or there's some ideas.
So right now, as a committee, we're going back and forth about exactly what we want.
Okay.
We want to definitely be a showcase of our town, of our history, and a place where families could come together, teenagers could come together and take some selfies there. We wanted to stand out.
There are so many places in the city and around the city that have walls like that and murals that they're like go-to destinations for photo shoots, for videos, for videography, for
Instagram,
projects.
Girl. Instagram.
All of those things. So it would only just bring more people over to this space. So
and the joy to be part of that process.
Yeah.
I love that. Makes me feel so proud, like I said.
Oh, I love it. Okay, I want to backtrack a little bit because we're gonna go backwards a little bit from you being in New York. When you moved there as a kid, like, what did you first think of it?
So, when I moved there as a kid, first of all, remember my mom left me as a very kind of like a baby, you know? So when I got there, I didn't really remember what she looked like. Because when you're a child, all I knew is that she used to wear a red sari. That's the only image I had her. So first of all, seeing my mom and kind of get reintroduced to, hey, this woman is my mom, and she has endless love for me, was the first thing. And then just the New York City, eating a slice of pizza in my dad's trailer, because he's an engineer, so he's always at these construction sites. So I grew up a lot with blueprints and slices of pizza in a trailer. Like that feeling, it's like a feeling that you don't forget, you know? And New York was just glittery. It was beautiful. It's amazing. Even as a kid, the Christmas there, the Christmas there. Yeah. My dad would drive us around Manhattan, Times Square, just to look at the lights. And we'd sit in the car and just look at the lights sometimes.
Oh, I love that.
So childhood was good there. It was very different than in the Midwest here. Yes. You walked everywhere. By the time you got to middle school, the city gave you an MTA card, and you commuted in the regular metro. There was no YOLO cheese bus that came to get you. By the time I got to high school, your commute was an hour and a half each way. So that means you're waking up to catch a 5:30 bus, trying to get to school on time, and then you get home at like 5:30, 6 o'clock.
And I remember I was taking the subway with my mom.
You remember that, and that's just normal. You know, over here I tell my kids, man, the cheese bus comes right in front of our door bus. Like they sit on the front porch, you know. So I think a very different perspective you have in life, the grit, you know, the people watching that you do. You know, when you're sitting in the bus or in the train and just looking at people's lifestyle, what they're talking, the different languages. I think it's really like that. When we made our way to San Diego, I'll never forget this. I remember us because we drove across the country. And we drove? We freaking drove, and we got in, and the first thing I said to my mom was like, wow, this place is so green and clean. That's what I said. Because I was a kid. I wasn't used to seeing trees and grass and all those things, especially over in Brooklyn and the Queens area. And jungle, girl.
It's all concrete. And so I go out there to the West Coast, and I was like, what is all of this?
What is grass? What is
my
grass?
mom was like, you're hilarious. And I was like, what? Well, we've never really seen this before. I mean, we would obviously in Puerto Rico when we go and see my family, but like not
on a daily
basis.
We have to learn a lot about grass and landscaping and little rodents that go into your window wells. Oh, little bunnies that get trapped in there. Oh yeah, we had to do a lot of learning when we moved here for sure. But that's a concrete jungle. That view never gets old.
Oh yes, that's absolutely. So you, as I think from what Ashley had shared with me, you as a child went through, it was a medical issue.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
So I was in 7th grade. I was 12 years old. We were going to go to India for a wedding. My cousin was getting married. And then before you go, you know, my mom was like, let's go to the pediatrician, make sure you got all your vaccines updated. And, you know, it was winter. It was like January, February, March time. So she's like, make sure you have a flu vaccine. So just by protocol, my pediatrician said you should get the flu vaccine before you head out. And I got the flu vaccine. That year in that strain too, there was a 1 in 100,000 chance that you would develop this thing called Guillain-Barré syndrome. It's very unique. It's an autoimmune thing where when you take that, the virus can trigger an autoimmune response that affects your nerves. It causes demyelinization of your nerve, the sheets that hold all of the electricity transferring through. And it causes paralysis. So here we go. We got the flu shot. We fly to India. I'm fine. 2 days later, I attend the first, Indian weddings are like 3 days long. So the first day, I was fine at the ceremonies. Come the second morning, we were about to go to the parlor to get our hair done. You got to get your face done and stuff like that. And I woke up that morning with a tingly feeling in my feet. It's like that, when you sit like crisscross applesauce on the floor and then your feet fall asleep.
You get the like tingly weird feeling.
So I was like, maybe because I slept wrong, I don't know, weird, so I was like, it'll go away. And here we are getting my facial done and eyebrows done and all that stuff. And I see this tingling is getting worse and worse. And it's going from my toes now and it's kind of tingling up to my thighs now. And I'm like, trying to just keep on, fidgeting as this girl's like doing my facial and stuff by the whole time. I'm like just feeling a little funny. What's going on? And then next thing, I realized, okay, tingling is up to my back. I'm like, maybe I need to get up and just, move around, so I was like, all right, I'm done with this stuff. Let me just move around. So I'm like, I'm going to take a shower. I'm done. I need to take a hot shower and just feel refreshed. And then my uncle, he was about to go to the bank. And he's, in India, you drive a motorbike, Hero Honda is the brand he had. I remember that. He's like, just come with me, babe. Just, sit behind me. Just come to the bank, or pick up some cash and come back. So I got on, I'm like, okay, maybe I'll walk around, move around. This tingliness will go away. I got onto the motorbike, and you got to put your leg around and sit down. I'm holding on to him and we drive off. And then as we're driving, in a little while, I feel like, I'm, in my sneakers, I couldn't move my toes. Like right now, try to move your toes around. Yeah. I'm like, this is weird. Like my brain is telling my toes, hey, go like this, move. And I'm like, I can't do it. And then my back started to hurt really, really bad, where I couldn't hold myself up. And I'm like trying to lean on my uncle now. And I'm like, told my uncle, hey, something is wrong. I don't feel right. I told him, I can't move my toes. And then he's like, all right, we'll just go back home. So he U-turned, we go back home. By the time he parks in front of our bungalow, he got off the bike thinking, hey, I'm going to get off too, because that's what you do when you park the bike. Yeah. You just get off of it.
Right.
And he realized I couldn't get off. The bike and me both started falling on him. He caught us both and he started screaming for help. My cousin was
So you at that point, you couldn't move anything.
I couldn't get my leg up. And it was the most weird sensation, because as a brain, I'm telling my foot, my leg, okay, come on, right now, in order to do this,
you're just doing it automatically. Yeah.
I'm telling my brain is trying to be like, okay, come on, leg, move around. It's just not going anywhere. It's the most oddest feeling ever, and scary too. And then my cousin runs out and she grabs me. My uncle grabs a bike. She carries me. She literally picks me up. My cousin, Pamela, she lives in Florida. I love you. She literally picks me up, carries me, and walks me, takes me inside, puts me on the sofa. And everyone's like, okay, what's going on? And I'm like, Mom, I can't. I'm bawling, crying now too, because I'm like, I can't move my legs. And my mom has her dye in her hair, because remember, this is the wedding happening. She's like, what's going on? I'm like, I can't move my legs. They're like, we got to go to the hospital. This is not okay. Something is wrong. So we now getting me. It's India now. Remember, we're in a different country.
Right.
It's not like you call 911 and the ambulance is going to come.
Well, then not only that, you got all that in the U.S. beforehand too.
Exactly. It's just like, what do we do? So they put me in the car and they take me to the hospital that's closest and nearby. It's a local family practice clinic that they had. I was so lucky. When they say you're blessed, I was very blessed that day. The neurologist comes once a month to the family practice clinic to give specialty care. He was there that day. A neurologist. What are the chances?
Wow.
In a country far away from home, in a small city of Baroda, at a small family practice clinic, there was a neurologist that comes once a month there that day for me. And
that's insane.
He was smart to identify what's probably going on. That, hey, this looks like Guillain-Barré. We need to get her, immunoglobulins right away, and put an IV in me. Got those globulins inside to stop the progression of the syndrome. Now, if he wasn't there, if I didn't get treatment in time, the paralysis would continue to get higher and higher. Now, with Guillain-Barré, if it reaches your lungs are paralyzed.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I would have died that day. I would have died.
Oh my gosh.
Blessings.
No kidding.
Somebody was watching over me. Say, hey,
especially because you're saying your back was hurting,
my back was hurting. Eventually it got up to my back already. So got lucky, and since there for 5 days, IVs every single day, went through an MRI in India, went through procedures, diagnostic tests to rule out anything or everything possible. He eventually got back to here, and of course my parents are like, we're not gonna leave any stone unturned. Let's just make sure we got the correct diagnosis, because I was by 2 weeks I was able to, with the treatment, I was able to get up and hold on to something like a cane or the wall and walk. But I need assistance to walk.
So did you basically have to learn how to do things all over again just in that short amount of time?
PT. I did 2 years of physical therapy.
2 years?
Yeah.
That's insane. That's crazy to get something of an onset from getting some sort of vaccine. and then that happening to you like just a few days later, but then it took you that long to recover from it.
Recover. Yeah. I remember, so when we came back, of course, we're going through another neurologist, MRI, spinal taps, you name it.
Yeah.
Got it done. And I remember going back to school, and, you know, I have to walk to school. Remember, at that time, my middle school was only like 4 blocks away from home. So you know what blocks are. That's not very far, you know. I would leave the house an hour early to walk 4 blocks because that's how long it would take me to walk there. Because I would have to, with a crutch, walk very slow with the school bag. And when I get to school, my friends, I love you guys, they would carry my school bag to, because you got to change classes every period. And the school they have an elevator, so they gave me the key because I couldn't go up the stairs. Okay. So they gave me an elevator key, and it was a very special, it made me feel what it's like to be handicapped, honestly. Yeah. It really changed my perspective on, hey, you're so lucky you could walk. I used to dance. I couldn't dance anymore. Forget walking and running. I could, for me, it was like, man, I'll never be able to dance ever again. I was training in Indian classical dancing at that time.
Wow.
So I was like, this is never going to get better. You go through those periods as a kid that time. Like, I am the weird kid, can't walk, can't run. In PE, of course I have a letter, but you're the one that's not participating. Right. It makes you feel very small, So I know what that feels like. And then I told myself, never again do I want to feel like this. I will do anything and everything possible to not be this way, not be dependent on anybody, not to ask help physically from anybody, to make myself strong was my goal from then on. I picked up, as soon as physical therapy was done, because insurance will only cover so much, I needed more. My dad was like, go back to dancing. It's like, it's exercise.
Yeah, and that would be your continuation of physical therapy.
Exactly. So he's like, I will take you every Saturday. And he did that. And then I picked up weight training as an elective in high school. I was like, I got to make my muscles strong. That's why I told myself, there's a reason why I can't run, or why can I squat, or why can I bend down. It's because of this, I have weak muscles and I need to just make them strong. It just made sense to me. I wasn't in medical school or anything like that, but it just made logical sense. So I was like, I got to pick a weight training. So I took that as an elective, as a PE, and I never looked back. I started weight training, getting stronger. Even in college, I asked my parents for $65 for a semester of a gym membership. It was so cheap, in college, but that's what I spent my money. I was like, I need a gym membership because I need to go weight train,
right?
So I could keep myself strong.
Yeah, to keep yourself going. 2 years relatively of PT, but then after that, was it like always a conscious decision where like you felt like you had to weight train, you had to do the things in order to keep yourself going, so you never went backwards?
Yes. I think it was always a conscious decision for myself to make that, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start even running now. And then in college, Binghamton University, beautiful campus, we had this thing called the Brain, which is a big loop around the campus.
So you started running?
Oh, I started running. And in the beginning, I couldn't run that much. So I would just do fast speed walking. And then I got to run a little bit, walk, and that's what I did. I just practiced. I just did it because if I didn't do it, I always feel like, I don't want to regress. I want to continue to get stronger.
Right.
I don't want to be where I have to be in a wheelchair or with a cane or a walker. Somebody help me get into a car. Somebody help me into the bathroom. And as a girl in puberty, like, I don't want anybody to be cleaning up after me. Like, that is not who I am, It's tough. It's tough being a woman on top of all this stuff. That's what I realized. And nobody's going to do this for me besides me, and I have to make these decisions. My parents can't make these decisions for me. It's not their responsibility. They did everything that they could do for me,
Wow. Did they realize that when you got treatment in India, or was it when you got back to the States that they realized, oh, this is actually what's going on?
Yeah. So when we got here with this tests and stuff, even the neurologist here agreed that it is the same Guillain-Barré, that the neurologist in India was head on. And once again, I was very lucky that I got the correct treatment at the correct time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did that, because you experienced that, did that change your perspective on like vaccinations in general?
Excellent question. It did. Because there's always going to be that slight percentage where if I take the flu shot or even the COVID vaccine, that, hey, this autoimmune thing can flare up.
Yes.
It can flare up anytime.
Yeah.
But this is how I make my decisions, okay? So when I was pregnant, that was, hey, should I take the flu vaccine? This is, 2011 and 2013 before COVID time. Yep. you have to always, outweigh the risks and benefits any type of healthcare decision you make.
Yeah, absolutely.
At being pregnant, I think about my baby more than I think about myself, So I'm like, I took the vaccine while I was pregnant, not for me, for the baby. And if I knew that if this flares up, I know what to do. I know, hey, what it feels like.
Like you're more educated now on it.
I'm just more educated.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, I need to go to the ER. When I get there, I'm like, hey guys, this is my history. I need this, this, and this. I was a nurse already at that time.
Okay.
So I think I was definitely much more confident in making those decisions. And even with COVID, during the COVID vaccine, there was not a lot of research or data. There were some European case studies that they were having that I read that was developing Guillain-Barré post-COVID vaccination. But once again, that was a decision I made for myself based on positives and negatives and what's right for me. And even then, because I'm in this field, we're actively working. If I want to continue working at the hospital and do what I do, I would have to take that vaccine. And I did, knowingly. Informed decision is what I made. And that's what I tell to all my patients when they ask me, should I get the pneumonia vaccine? Should I get the shingles vaccine? Hey, weigh the positive negatives and think about what is right for you.
Yeah.
And then know the negatives. If there's something like this happening, you could go seek the care that you need to help yourself.
Right. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great advice. Just because even with like my autoimmune disorder, like I would get very weird reactions when I got vaccines myself. And so I've stayed away from them because like I would go 20 times backwards. But it is a very individual perspective and a decision, based on your own experience and if you can handle it or not. So I understand that totally. That's great. I just can't believe it took you that long to recover off of something like that. Did that make you like, when all that happened and then you were in high school, were you already thinking you wanted to go into the medical field already? Or did this kind of push you into it because you were dealing with this situation?
So so when I was young, I was gung-ho, I want to be a cardiologist.
Okay.
And the reason was one of my grandfathers, he died of a massive heart attack at a young age of 42.
Wow.
So I was like, I knew I want to be in the healthcare field, but I was like, I'm going to be a doctor. I want to be a doctor. However, this experience of being in the hospital for so long, for so many treatments, it kind of changed my perspective. At the end of the day, the people that really took care of me was the nurses. The doctors were just in and out. The medical students were just poking and prodding me. The residents were poking because they're learning.
Yes.
As a kid, I felt like I was just like a poking or prodding machine for the residents and the doctors. And the nurses, the one really took care of me. They were trying to explain to me what's going on. They empowered me to understand what's happening in my body.
Okay.
So I was like, what a different perspective here. That's not what I want to do. I want to do what these ladies are doing. I want to be there for that young child or the person that doesn't know what's happening, and empower them to help them understand what's happening so they could not be afraid, because I think I was just so scared.
Yeah.
You come to do a spinal tap on a 12-year-old with a needle this big.
Yes.
That is very scary.
Yeah.
Or an EMG where they're just putting in needles at every point of your muscles and electrocuting you. It is, you just say that's what technically is, but that was very scary. And none of the doctors were explaining anything to me. I'm like, they don't get this training in medical school that, hey, you want to educate the patient. I'm about to do this. This is what it's going to feel like. Are you doing okay? They're just teaching. They're just attending is talking to the physicians. I mean, that's their job. They're learning. I don't blame that either, but I felt like the nurses were really helping me get me feel comfortable. So when I went to college, I decided I'm going to go to nursing school.
Okay.
So I went to one of the best nursing school, Decker School of Nursing at Binghamton University. Great program. They definitely graduate students very, very strong. Mm-hmm. So I loved it. I would never change what I do. Never.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Like you already knew, like, when you saw that just from your own experience, like, I want to take this and I want to be able to make an impact in other people's lives. So this is the route I'm going to take. And then you're still in that same space,
Wouldn't change it.
That's great.
I think I tell my husband, even when I'm like 70, I might be working twice a week because I just love what I do. If I just sit at home, I'm like, I'm going to drive myself crazy, number one. Number two, I'm going to miss what I do. I like this. Mm-hmm. I like talking to my patients. I like to, help them figure things out. And if I have something to offer, I love that. You know?
What made you, so you guys come here, you relocate here to Fortville. What made you go, I want to open my own business instead of going like the typical route of working for either for somebody else or a hospital or surgery center or anything like that? Like, why did you guys decide to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I had been a nurse already for 20 plus years at that point and worked at like 4 or 5 different health systems. I was working for a private practice in endocrine for, a while now. And I think it just had to be with quality of life and the stress.
Okay.
So working for that private practice, we were rounding on, rehab centers and nursing homes and hospitals, and it was just exhausting. I definitely was feeling a lot of burnout. I was on call all the time, so even at 2 in the morning, my phone was ringing. So I had to really figure out, am I really enjoying this? I'm just in and out. Is that what I really want to do? Like, is that 15 minutes enough with the patient? Am I feeling gratified? I just wasn't feeling that. And I think I just felt more stressed and more just drained afterwards instead of that happy, good feeling.
Yeah.
So I was like, I have to make a change. I got to do what I love to do at my own time, at my own pace. My consults are an hour long because I can. You're not going to move me along every 30 minutes.
Well, and that's great because a lot of people need that one-on-one, like super deep dive about their health because they need that.
Yeah. So I just don't want to be rushed,
Yeah.
Our healthcare system has become like that. These, especially family practice, is very hard. They get like 15-minute slots and they have to move. They have to see the next person, just the way they built their schedules. And how much can one person do, one doctor do in 15 minutes? I don't think so that's fair to the clinician either.
No.
That's not fair to the patient. It's not fair to the clinician. Like, why are we in this vicious cycle? So I was like, I got to change this. I got to start this with me and do what makes me happy. And I'm fortunate enough that at this point in my career, I could be very autonomous and I could do this for myself.
That's good.
And the best part is I live just in a little bit down here, a mile from here. My kids bike over. I mean, that's a mom's dream come true. Every summer, my kids are bikes.
You're not on call in the middle of the night having to go somewhere.
Yeah. So this was the best decision I've made for myself. Career-wise, mental health-wise, emotion-wise, I have time for myself to take care of myself.
Yeah.
What else do you want? If you want to create, I gotta always take care of myself.
Yeah.
That's never gonna change.
I love that. Okay, so your kids, what do they think about this thing that you guys have built and like the experience that you have? Is that something that they see themselves doing? Have you guys even had conversations about that at all?
Good questions. We never want to put to the kids that you have to do what we do.
Yeah.
Just because I love medicine, just because your dad's in this doesn't mean you have to do it. Do whatever you want to do. However, you saw my daughter today.
Yes.
She's always here. If she goes down Main Street, she's our just like a public relations here. The girls next door love her. Like every business owner here probably knows Rana from Prana because she's just that type of personality.
Yeah.
She doesn't like medicine. She will probably faint if I try to draw blood on her. But she loves this part. She loves greeting all the clients that come in.
Okay.
She will give you a bomb tour of this place. She knows every machine, every room, and what we do in there. Like she loves the people part to it. Our son, he's an athlete. He plays basketball, so he loves the recovery stuff that we have here.
Yes.
He's on the red light machine. He's using the vibration machine, the massage chair. He's here to recover after every game that he plays. So he loves what we have to offer for himself too. He actually wants to become a sports medicine physician.
Oh, okay.
Maybe for one of the Colts, Pacers.
Yeah, there you go.
If you ever need one in the future,
right?
we got one in training right here. Just putting it out there. But that's what he sees himself doing. So I'm like, this is the place for you to start off with, like to learn, to do what we do. How we have muscle recovery, we have rejuvenation, we have longevity, we have peptides for healing your tendons and stuff. Like this is a place to start.
I love that.
Yeah.
So cool.
And he's one of my most compliant patients, by the way.
Oh, really?
Oh, he's a beast. I love you, Adi. He's a beast. So he's been training with me since he was 2 years old. Because, I got a weight train in my basement. And since then, he's been working out with me. You would just follow what I do. And now he works out. He eats right macros. He's taking his, peptide, performance peptides, which are fava bean based. He takes his, creatine. He takes his multivitamin. He takes vitamin D.
He's on it.
He's on it. He is on. And he preps his meals, which helps me out too. Yeah, he's on it. I've created a beast, but I love it. That he's so well tuned to his body too, and that he has the same drive that I have for myself when it comes to I want to take care of myself. I want to do right to my body.
That's really. And how old is he?
He's 14.
How does he? Okay, my kid's 15, and he does not even do any of that.
Yeah, he'd be like, "Mom, where's the chicken?" He opens the fridge. Do we have chicken? He just wants to make chicken all the time. Yeah, it's just the way he is,
I love that he's wired that way because he's already like so diligent in like his routine.
Yeah.
And if he's starting this early, being that well-rounded in terms of like, this is my schedule and I'm going to, you know, have my routine throughout the day. Like imagine when he's grown up.
I wish that these habits stay. And you know what I try to do, you know, even as my kids were growing up, it's about normalizing things.
Yes.
Me growing up with Indian heritage, you know, going to the gym, weight training, workout, it's not normal. They do yoga.
Yeah.
But that's not part of our culture or what we do on a daily basis. So that was very odd. My dad's like, you want $65 for a gym membership? Like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm going to go work out. They didn't understand that. I made it part of their normal life that every day you should be giving your body some sort of activity, some sort of physical activity, whatever you like, whether it be biking around, going for a run, going down training, whatever you like to do, you know? And I think as my generation, as we're raising the next one, we got to make it normal that this is part of life. There's nothing else besides this.
Yeah.
If we do that, I think we're going to cultivate a next generation that's much healthier than us.
Which we need that so much.
Yeah. The obesity rates in our country are continue to skyrocket. Even though we have GLP-1s, how are they still skyrocketing? Out, right?
Yeah.
But they continue to increase every single year. So I think then this is what I tell all my patients that come in here. Hey, you know, I'm glad you're here to take care of yourself, but let's talk about the family as a whole, which is something you learn in nursing school. Physicians don't get this training. Unfortunately, I think they should, where they're holistically taught to look at not just the patient you're taking care of, but what else affects this patient. And treating everything around them. Is it relationships, you know?
Yeah.
Is it because their habits as a whole, as a family, that need to be adjusted to? And if you adjust them, that means they're going to take these healthy habits, hopefully implement it in their house, that everybody's on the same page. And now you've gone from affecting one person's life to maybe 4 or 5 people's life.
Right.
Think about that.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
That's called empowering.
With your... I know you mentioned like obviously the whole gym thing, there was like a little bit of a culture shift in that with where you came from and being here in the US. Was there anything else that you kind of had to walk through your parents with as you were growing up in your culture here?
Food, you know. I think the Indian diet is very carb rich.
Oh gosh, I know. Same here with me being a Latina. It's very carb rich too. It's hard. It's hard,
but you know, you got to look at their ancestry. We were farmers in India. You know, this carbs made sense because you're physically working very hard and you need those calories. You know. Now, majority of our jobs are sedentary. They're on a table and chair. We're driving everywhere. You got to think about your environment that you're in, what you really need for your body. Okay. I came from a vegetarian family, so I grew up very plant-based. Lentils. Tofu was something I discovered in college. Did not know about that. In the dining hall. I used to work in the dining hall as a part-time job. So first I thought this was like weird. What is this soy tofu thing, you know? And then one day I was like, I'm going to try it. I'm like, okay. I mean, it's a little weird texture.
Yes,
but I'm like,
it is a weird texture.
And then back then in the dining halls, they used to keep a nutrition label. They had something just started. I don't know if you know, but in that early 2000s, the nutrition label thing was a big deal. They had just started implementing that when you buy things, cereal boxes, or even when you're selling things, to start having a nutrition label for you to see. And at that time, the focus was on sugar. New York City had this huge ad campaign. I don't know if you remember it. The ad campaign was about sugar, and in the subways and the buses, they had this poster. They showed a soda, maybe 12 ounces of soda, and then how much sugar of white.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
And then you look at it, you're like, oh,
and you're like, holy crap.
So that's when the movement was happening, where you want to put out nutrition labels. So then I started, of course, I was in nursing school, so you're taught to look at that.
Right.
Because again, changing your perspective on things. So I started looking at, oh wait, tofu has, that's a lot of protein. Okay, and then you learn about nursing school, learn about nutrition, what your macros are, what is a macro? You know, that's carbs, proteins, and fats. What are micronutrients, and what are the difference between them? What should a plate really look like for you? So that's when the nutrition part really started coming into my life, and I started bringing that home a little bit too, that hey, we do need to have a variety of foods. We can't be eating rice and roti, which is like the Indian bread. We got carbs on carbs here, guys. Where's the fiber here, and where's the protein here? So, you know, I love bringing that into my family too, you know, and because like I said, they grew up a very different lifestyle than we did. So it starts with me and starts with us. Yeah, that's true. Did you eventually decide to, are you still a vegetarian or? No, I have transferred myself since I married my husband. I discovered chicken at that point, and I realized, wow, chicken has a lot of protein. And once again, goals. When a girl got goals, I will do everything, anything possible. So during the pandemic, when we were really bored out of our mind, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, man, I'm gonna bulk up. I'm gonna lean down and bulk up.
So what? You got so much protein? Were you just over it?
So what I did was, when you talk about like lifestyle, with diet, I don't expect somebody that's vegan to start eating chicken tomorrow.
Yeah.
And if you're a carnivore loving person, I'm not going to put you on a plant-based diet. That doesn't make sense.
Right.
So for me, it took some experimentation, Okay, if my goal is I want to eat 150 grams of protein a day, I know what my paneer, my tofu, my lentils, my chickpeas, which I love to eat, has in it, but I needed more. It has complex carbs and fiber, but I needed more. So besides the eggs that I would eat, you have that, the chicken, fine. Okay, I could tolerate eating that, but I had to try everything in my palate.
Yes.
I had to try different types of fishes. I tried lamb, goat. I even tried beef. I just realized I don't like the red meat.
Yeah.
My palate just doesn't enjoy it. It's got great protein in it. I just can't do it on a daily basis. But I discovered salmon. I was like, okay, a 5-ounce fillet of salmon. It's not very big. I could get it in me. And it's 20 grams of protein.
Yeah, salmon's really good for protein.
And my palate was like, oh, I could do this, And I'm like, that's how I figured out how to get all that protein in me. You got to do trial and error. And that's why I tell my patients, like, you don't have to eat what I tell you to eat. I give them a nutrition from the American Nutrition Association. Like, hey, these are proteins. This is in this category. Go down this list. Right. Try it once.
You have to see, like, what works for you.
Yeah.
There were times where, because I've done 5 bikini competitions for bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And so there was times where I was like super high in protein, low carb, because, I was on a specific diet or whatever. But I would just get so sick of having to eat that much protein every day, because then I'd be like, oh my God, here goes another 6 ounces of chicken. Here's another 4 ounces of ground beef. I was over it.
It's hard.
It's
so I did it for a little bit, and I ended up understanding, because I was weight training, I was going heavier because you have to do that. We lived on a golf course in Champaign, so the golf course was closed, so they opened up to public. So I went running in there. So I had cardio. I got my weight training really heavy, and at the protein, I'm like, I had to eat every 2 hours. So in a day, I could get it all in me. I don't know how you did it, but I did it very short period, just to prove, once again, I just want to always prove to myself I could do it.
You can do it, yeah. It's exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Exhausting, and then sometimes very filling, but then sometimes you would be, it's hilarious, because you would eat that much protein, but you would, obviously you get a lot of your energy from carbs, but then like when you're so carb depleted, it didn't matter how many freaking grams of protein, like you would still be exhausted.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just
at that time the keto was so popular. So
oh gosh, I know.
Before I dish it out to my patients, I'm telling you, I always try it on me first. I'm the first one. Yeah. Yeah. So I did that, and I realized you had to cycle it every 6 weeks. You got to check your ketones.
Yeah, I never really did the whole keto thing. I don't think I could have done it. And I don't have a gallbladder either from my immune disorder. So any high fats don't work well with me.
So when I was at Carl, we initiated kind of like a metabolic clinic for the Carl Hospital. The GLP-1s had just come out at that time. We were very lucky to incorporate this program, and what my attending Dr. Abdo and I, we both worked together on this. We had a team of nutritionists, a team of physical therapists for activity, and then Dr. Abdo and I would give lectures once a week, education, and then every week we also do one-on-one with medication adjustments.
Okay.
And our goal was, with the help of GLP-1s, can we reduce some diabetic medications? Because remember, back then it was just for diabetes. It was just kind of a paper, something we were working on. And then our goal was to reduce insulin, reduce diabetic medication, reduce maybe some blood pressure medication, cholesterol. Like, that was the overall health picture. And with our nutritionists, we're like, at that time, the plant-based, keto, everything, paleo, do you remember, everything was so trending. So our patients were like, I want to do this, I want to do that. So we're like, okay, we have RDs, registered dietitians on hand. Let's try that. We'll cater to whatever the patient wants. It was a 12-week program, and patients did great with the GLP-1s, with diet, physical therapy, pretty much exercise. We were able to, some of them completely take off insulin, lower blood pressure medication. We were having phenomenal response, okay, with the program that we had. After the program, there were still our patients. We had hand-selected our patients from our own patient panel. So like the first group we did was women, a certain age group, a certain BMI, because when you do a cohort, you want them to be very similar to each other, so you could compare results kind of a thing. So it was a whole process we did. After the 12 weeks, we would see them back every 3 months for our normal endocrine visits, and we saw that they're falling off on their diet. So we're like, why is this happening? And then we realized all these trendy diets, they're just not sustainable.
No, they're not.
You can't
None of them are.
They're great on their own, but they're not forever diets.
Nope.
So that's when we had to do a mind shift where like it's not about recommending, oh, plant is great. It's about understanding patients' lifestyle, their ethnicity, their diversity, and helping them understand what they enjoy, and then tweaking their diet to make it possible and sustainable for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really. I mean, that's what you have to do, because I think I feel like our society is very quick to try to find a quick fix to their problems and issues.
Yeah.
And that never works well for anybody.
Nope.
It may solve your problem for a second, temporarily, but something else is going to come from it, or you're going to bounce back to where you were, or maybe even take now 10 steps even further worse.
Exactly.
And I think people just need to really kind of say, okay, like what works for me, what is sustainable with my lifestyle, and I'm going to be happy with long term. Yeah. Like, why do you think you're going to be happy with like barely eating?
That doesn't make no sense to me.
Or doing whatever so-called diet there is,
And I'm like, sometimes, are you eating enough? Because you should be eating.
Yes.
You need nutrition.
Absolutely.
I've had some patients come in, they were with like a coach or something like that, and I had this one lady, she was on an 800 calorie diet for like years.
That is the worst. You can so mess up your metabolism that way.
Her BMR on the in-body is so low. So right now, I'm like introducing food back to her diet. We're trying to increase her BMR to get her healthy. I'm like, this is not okay for your body. Like, you should not be so deprived and eating 800 calories a day, unless you're doing like there's like a reason, and it's small and it's monitored.
There's an ending to it because for a specific purpose.
And it's done in a safety parameter, maybe with a clinician watching you, but it's not a lifestyle. I don't think so.
No, not at all. I don't understand how I've heard of a lot of people doing that, and I'm just like, you are doing the most detriment to yourself and to your health.
So when my patients come, I make it very like, I am not a quick fix type of girl. If you're here for that, sorry. This is going to be something we're going to work on together. We're going to identify things together and create something that's for you, and this should be lasting forever.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to switch gears, because when we were here before, if those of you who are watching or listening the podcast episode just audio wise, Ashley and I were here a couple months ago. We did an After Dark episode. We talked to you briefly, and then we kind of went into our own little spiel of everything. But I want to just circle back in case people didn't listen to that episode when you were on it, about just all that you offer here, because I thought it was very interesting that when we got the tour, when I first came here, and you guys and everybody and Brooke showed us kind of all the way around, like, you have a lot here. Like, I felt like this place just kept going because it's very long and it just didn't stop. And I was like, wow, you have everything here. So tell us about all the things that you have here.
So it was definitely a vision that we had. And so first of all, of course, I do endocrinology. So I'm very comfortable in hormone management, whether it be men, testosterone, or female hormones. Of course, weight loss, but with all my rules that I have. Now you know a little bit more about my rules. And no quick fixes over here at Prana. I do a lot of peptide therapies. So, peptides are nothing new. In fact, GLP-1s are peptides, right? So when that came out, it really kind of forced me into like, what is this peptide stuff? Let me read more into it. Are there more articles and stuff? So that's how I discovered BPC, MOTC, CJC, Tesmerlin, Sermorelin. I could go on, and they all have different characteristics. So our body has like 40,000 of those, and we've tested a few thousand, and clinically, saw that maybe a few hundred have some sort of characteristic that are safe and that we could use. So I love utilizing them. They're outside the box thinking. A majority of them have very low side effect profiles to them, and some of them you do have to monitor with labs, and you want to do it the right way. So we have that. Like I said, longevity is a big deal here. So IV hydration, because when you have something that's 100% bioavailable, you feel better right away compared to taking supplements or anything to nutrition, about 20%. Of course, we have a lot of intramuscular injections. And then in the back, we have a lot of biohacking technology.
I know. I want to hear all about all the stuff you have in the back.
So I'm trying to put myself in a room by room.
Go by
so
like piece by piece.
So the first, in a procedure room, we have the InMode Apex. Okay. So the Apex is one of a kind. So let me take you back to my OR days at NYU Langone Medical Center. We used to have Fridays. We used to call them Penis Fridays because it was my urology day surgery, and we did a lot of penile implants.
Oh, really?
Yes. So a penile implant is when you take a little pump type, you put into scrotal sac, and then you have the shaft they put into the penile shaft. So anytime a man wants to have an erection, you pump up the testicles and the shaft goes up. a little barbaric if you've ever seen the procedure, and then you have 50% chance that it doesn't work. You got infections and all that stuff. So when the Apex came, the Apex is for ED, erectile dysfunction. Yes. What is ED, right? Yeah. ED is actually an issue of circulation. So how does, okay, we're going to talk some taboo stuff here.
No. I want, this is all good. I love it.
It's innovation.
Yes.
How does an erection happen? Your heart pumps, right? The circulation, the blood goes down to the penis, right? You have little capillaries in your penis. So when the capillaries fill up, then you have an erection happen, right? So if you have a penis like this, should be a 90-degree erection, right? Because all the capillaries are filled. And then in the penile shaft, we have collagen.
Okay.
Collagen was kind of clamps down on the penis to do what? Hold the erection so the blood doesn't go back to the heart.
Okay.
Right. As we age, right? Our face ages. What happens to our collagen in our face? We lose some. So what happens to the collagen in this organ?
Okay.
It's going to decrease, right?
I didn't even know there was even collagen in penises.
Absolutely.
I had no idea.
And then even those capillaries, as we age, you lose some circulation in that.
Yeah.
So what the Apex does is a non-invasive, number one. It's a device that sends bipolar technology to stimulate angiogenesis. It stimulates production of new capillaries, and it stimulates collagen production. So now, if I'm stimulating new capillaries and new collagen, you're going to have a better erection, more stronger erection. You'll be able to hold it much longer too. And then the side effect to that is because we're stimulating collagen and capillaries, there's a change in size. Girth and length. And yes, we measure it.
Oh, are you serious?
Our record, I think, if this person listening, I think you know who, our record is about 1 inch in length, and the last we measured was 3/4 in circumference.
Are you kidding me?
It's just a side effect.
That is just a side effect, guys.
A side effect. So, and it's non-invasive.
Wait, is this something you just do once, or is it something that you come in for multiple times?
You want to do 6 treatments for this.
6 treatments, okay.
Typically by treatment 4th is when you see significant change and growth and change and even stamina. The most common thing I hear from all the men is that it feels heavier. I don't know what that means because I don't have one.
So you have no idea what that feels like.
I think it's because we're just generating more capillaries and collagen that it just feels heavier, and
that would make sense.
Yeah.
However that feels.
Yeah. And this has helped some of our patients come off of sildenafil, tadalafil, medications that we use. They work differently.
Okay.
And it's a more natural way. Now we have women doing baby Botox to protect this. Why is that a taboo for men? My pride comes from my face, right?
Yes.
A man's pride comes from his penis.
Yeah.
So what's wrong with
that's very true.
ED?
Yeah.
I think that from what I've seen in my career, I'm absolutely okay with the non-invasive thing. You take biopore technology, it heats up, I create angiogenesis 6 treatments, you're good to go.
And you're obviously for I think for men and women, like that really, sexual health is super important. And I think that really can lower your quality of life. If it's something that, you're having issues with intimately with a relationship, or you haven't been happy for a long time and you can't figure out what's going on, that could really have a major effect on somebody.
You're absolutely right. And I tell it's never a him problem, it's a we issue.
Yeah.
Because they're having intimacy problem.
Yes.
If a man cannot do what he needs to do, then the wife is unhappy, and that causes tension in the relationship. So this machine is just not about fixing that. It's about fixing making relationships better.
Yes.
And now we have centennials in my practice. I have 71-year-olds who are starting their 5th company. Yes. I have some amazing clients in my practice.
Oh my gosh.
Inspirational people I meet, and so I love what I do. And at 71, starting a 5th company, like the quality of life has to be there for this man, and I support him. Absolutely. You go.
We support that 71-year-old man. Go get yours.
Yes. And I get 35-year-olds come in too, and I support them equally.
Yes, there you go.
And I support the girlies equally too. You deserve to be pleasured.
Yes, absolutely. Do you do anything on the female end?
Not yet.
Okay.
For the female side, we do have pelvic floor therapy.
Okay, so that I thought you did here.
It's a game changer for so many women, whether you just had a baby and you want to just make sure you tighten up your pelvic floor, or you're really having urinary incontinence. incontinence, stress incontinence.
That's an issue. I have interstitial cystitis, so pelvic therapy for me, I've had it before, and I know it has been helpful, and then I haven't done it in years, so it's like something that's like on my list.
Let's get you on it today, for sure. It's non-invasive.
Yeah.
So in a clinical practice, we do prescribed pelvic floor therapy. It's about 2 hours of your time. You go there, and then you have to continue practicing those exercises at home. You end up having some lactic acid buildup. Pelvic floor is a big muscle, you know? And you're sore, and now you're waddling around, and patients quit. So what can we do so you don't quit, so you can have a better quality of life?
Yeah.
The Emsella pelvic floor therapy chair, in 28 minutes, it does 11,000 Kegels. There's no human way I could do that right now.
Oh, is that the vibrating chair thing that you sit on?
Yeah.
Okay, so I did do it once. I did this open house thing years ago.
Yeah.
And literally, he must have, the person who is the technician must have had it on super high. I sat down and I was like,
bouncing off the chair.
Yes, I was like, oh my God, what are you doing to me? Lower that thing.
It's very powerful.
So strong. And then finally, after a good, I think 10 minutes, I was like, okay, I can breathe. I can sit here now. But man, that was strong.
So over here, we always start a man or a woman, because our men go on it too, because it's great for prostate health. And
okay, I didn't know that.
We have a lot of golfers that like to do that, because you want to get to a 2-hour golf course and not have to find a tree, is what I hear.
Find a tree.
So that's so after the pelvic floor, you don't have to find a tree anymore. But we always start you up on a small 30%, and everybody's tolerances are different. You want to be able to feel your pelvic floor contract. Okay, that's what we want. And you got to find your position as we kind of guide you through with that. And then as you do more, there's 6 treatments you need. As you do more treatments, then we could increase the number. But you got to go according to your tolerance. At that demo, I'm sure they pumped you up just to make you feel. But when I do a Kegel, and when you sit on the floor and the machine does a Kegel, it's a different. I think when you do yourself about 20% on the machine, 100% muscle contraction.
Wow.
Big difference. We've had clients, even the elderly, they come in depends, and after their treatments, they're down to a panty liner, and they're like, I could go through Walmart, do my grocery shopping, and not pee my pants.
That's amazing.
That is called quality of life.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Definitely.
And that's the aim here.
I love that. All right, tell us all the other goodies you have back there.
We have the Morpheus 8 RF technology. That's the only FDA approved one. I think there's a big thing going on in social media and Instagram about, RF microneedling is banned and stuff like that. It's because there's a lot of companies that have machines that are not very good. Yeah. And they can leave you scarring and burning and infections, right? And you also want a provider that knows what they're doing. Right. They're clinically trained and not just somebody just kind of poking at you. You could do that face, too. It's like a monkey could do it, but you got to know where your anatomy is. You got to know how to put the right setting for the right face. My 70-year-old versus my 30-year-old, they need completely different settings, different type of skin quality. So the InMode Morpheus 8 is used by celebrities. It's the only FDA approved one, and that is the only one we will ever have here. All of our machines are always FDA approved. That's for sure. We have also the red light, infrared light therapy panel. It has healed wounds from this big to gone. Oh my gosh. It has taken sprained ankles swollen this wide to back to normal. You feel so rejuvenated, great for muscle recovery. Of course, girlies love it for the collagen. Yes. We have regulars that come in for that. Arthritic pain is great for that. We have the M-Sculpt Neo, which has fixed my tennis elbow and my tricep tendonitis, because I was just struggling with it. Serena Williams uses that for her shoulder. So a lot of functional wellness without steroids is what we want to do. And the M-Sculpt, in case we have some brides that come in, I am getting married, I need this tummy gone to fit into my dress. In 6 weeks, we're able to get her into the dress, and you can see her before and after. It is RF technology, PMF technology, it contracts your muscle, 20,000 crunches in 30 minutes. Yeah, it's like unmatched. It's a little cheating, but you know what, girl, if you gotta get into a dress. I mean, but like we all do that in various ways. Yeah. But then think about, the person that's having issue getting out of a chair like this. You need quads for that. So I have patients that are older with mobility issues, and we put this on them. So you can once again, great. Quality of life is the goal over here to help optimize you. And then, of course, we have the hyperbaric oxygen chamber. Yes, I've seen Ashley in it. Yes. Typically, one looks like a little tube, and you feel so claustrophobic. Yeah. Ours is soft shell, which is safe for very low. We wanted to once again get FDA approved things that are safe for even a child to go inside. So I know there's a lot of hype about, it could burn into oxygen fire and stuff like that. That happens when those chambers are 100% oxygen floating around in it. Ours is not like that. You take oxygen either through a nasal cannula, or you could even do air. Like we have somebody that just cannot put anything in their mouth, so just air. And it's just going to push the oxygen into your cells. You're going to still improve inflammation. You're going to help reduce pain. You're going to help healing happen. It helps with PTSD, autism. I mean, the list can go on. Use it for neuropathy for my diabetics. I mean, wound healing, post augmentations, abdominoplasty. They get in there.
Like all the
quick
things.
Quick healing so you can get back to work.
Yeah.
Love it. And so spacious.
Yeah.
The one we had a 25-year-old kid go in with his mom, PTSD. So we said, you guys should go in together. Plenty of space for them. We have a gentleman, he's 6'7", his chest is this wide. Love him. He's just pure muscle mass. Love him to death. And he gets in there, and there's still a foot of space for his feet.
Wow.
So very comfortable. And once again,
great.
The goal was finding the right things, was that we want patients to be compliant, that they're comfortable able to continue to do it so they could see therapeutic change.
Yeah.
What's the point of doing something if you're not going to get a therapeutic change?
Absolutely.
I don't believe in that.
I love like all the biohacking stuff you have.
I love it too.
It's amazing.
There's more to come.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I'm looking forward to just hearing all the other things that are coming up here. All right, so we're going to launch this episode probably. I do have one that I'm launching on this Thursday, so this will probably get launched within the next probably week and a half to 2 weeks. Okay. What do you have? Is there anything that people can look forward to, either not necessarily maybe in the holidays, if not in the holidays, the first of the year, like anything else that you want to talk about?
So I'm going to just talk about this period, what's going on right now. You want to understand how many calls we're getting there's a lot of illness going around our community.
Okay.
The flu, there's a GI bug, and of course there's a new COVID strain that's out too. So we're getting a lot of illness calls. So we're starting to offer, our clients too, and now we've been offering to our clients now, we're welcoming other people, some telehealth acute care visits. Okay. Just to keep our community healthy and safe.
Oh, that's great.
Check out our Instagram, give the girls a call. If you need care, we're here for you. If sometimes it's hard to get to urgent care, you don't want to go to urgent care, it's hard to get into your primary care.
That is such a great idea, because I think even now when you're working, you have kids and something comes up all of a sudden, and most of the time I can't even get to see my doctor.
It's hard.
I normally go to an urgent care, or I go to CVS, their minute clinics or something, because nobody is available. It is the most ridiculous thing ever. So for you to have that added benefit,
and you get to see Dr. Rana. He has tremendous urgent care experience in his belt over there. He's phenomenal.
So it's telecare. You don't have to come in. You can just set it up online. The telehealth visits. That's amazing. What can people, in just touching with that aspect, what can people do this time of season to try and keep themselves as healthy as possible with some of these things going around in the communities here in Indy?
Absolutely. Wash your hands when those kiddies come home from school, because I think it's been a lot coming from school that we're seeing. Tell the kids, wash your hands. I know it's hard to tell them to stop putting their fingers in their mouth at school too. Making sure you're cleaning your surrounding surfaces area. Vitamin C is very important for you this time of the season. And take your vitamin D, because we're in a season where there's no sun anymore, and you need vitamin D to help out with everything else too. So drinking a lot of water, getting good sleep, vitamin C, vitamin D, and washing your hands. Okay. Let's do that as a community.
Yeah, great. Right? Yeah, I will definitely share that information, because I think we all need it, especially this time of season.
Yeah.
Change of season stinks. And then we go into now where we're it was fall, but it's not going to be really fall, because now this week is going to be freezing.
It's snowing on Monday.
Yeah, so it's so now
we got the Christmas tree. We're already here.
There is no such thing as fall.
We're just gearing up, and in 2026 we're going to have a lot of big things. Dr. Rana has a lot of big things planned for the clinic. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. More to come, so you can see what surprises we have.
Awesome. Thank you for sitting down. I love hearing just your whole story. Just in general, especially I literally did not know you guys were from New York. You moved over there from where you were before with your family, and then implanting yourself here I did as well.
It's a journey.
It really is.
It's a journey, and I think even you should look at your own life. I say every part of it, there's always something you can learn from it, and something that's going to help you grow and develop. Nothing is a waste. nothing is a waste in life. I love that. And you bring it all together. And sometimes when I sit down, now I'm 42, going to be 43 next year. I'm like, I don't know, this is like a magic age. I know you're my age girl. This is a magic time where you just sit down and you reflect. And
literally, I feel like that's all I do.
I love this decade. I think I want to make it to my best decade of my life.
That's what I keep telling. Well, hopefully by the end of the year. Well, not by the end of this year. By the end of next year, I'll make it the best decade with my health and stuff. But I was literally just telling Ashley that because she just turned 39.
Yeah.
And so she was like really excited just to celebrate that last year. And I was like, girl, wait till you get into your 40s. It is totally different.
It's even better.
It is. It's even better. So, well, thank you for coming on the podcast again and us getting, a little bit more in depth. Of course, I'm going to have all this information, obviously, all over social media on my website at JohnetteCruz.com, where you can connect with her and her business and, make a telehealth appointment or, come over here to the Fortville area if you're local. So thanks for being on here.
Thanks for having me. Make me feel so comfortable.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.